I'll be honest, y'all, the amount of people who are trying to make it on Twitch today versus when I started in 2013, it's such a scary difference. Starting on Twitch now is a completely different landscape, completely different ballgame, way more competitive, requires way more attention to detail and way more effort than it did back then. This is like, I applaud y'all if you've gotten started in the last like 2 or 3 years, because it is getting really tough. However, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve of different, which actually, you know what? I have a few things that I've learned the past 7 years being involved with the platform, and a few things that I've learned as a business owner and entrepreneur that I think would make starting from zero for me actually pretty easy. So what I want to do is I want to tell you what I would do if I was completely starting over from zero on Twitch, exactly the steps that I would take in order to grow my audience. Let's do it. Okay, so as I've said in previous videos, it's actually really difficult to get started on Twitch, just stream video games, not really put a ton of effort in, and grow. Unfortunately, that growth path is almost impossible nowadays. Is a very small percentage of people who are going to make that work. But that doesn't mean that it is impossible for everybody else to grow and that you just have to throw your agency over the situation just out of the window. Instead, what we want to do is look at that problem as if it has a solution and figure out what that solution is. And this is where that creative problem solving really comes into play with Twitch, and why it's so important for you to not block off solutions to problems, for you to keep your mind open whenever it comes to how you could fix the things that you're struggling with. So the first thing that I would do is I would figure out exactly what I had to offer people. What thing or knowledge or skill set, what valuable help can I give people beyond just the video games that I play and the relationship that they can have with me. Some people call this your zone of genius, your genius zone. So this is essentially the thing that you are really great at and you are better at than the average person. So you should be thinking about what things do you have a sustained interest in? What do you think you are really good at? What do people give you compliments about? What do you feel really comfortable doing? And what came really natural to you? If you don't know what that thing is yet, I also have a workbook of the 6 exercises that I actually used in order to figure out what that thing was for me so that I could start giving it out to people in my content. After I figured out what that genius zone was for me, then I would start learning more about the people who need help with that specific thing. So this would mean that I would go to Facebook groups, I would post on social media, I'd go and talk to people, I'd have one-on-one conversations with people, I'd send out questionnaires to ask for feedback, and I'd ask those people, what is it that you're really struggling with? What is the real difficult thing here for you? What's going on that's blocking you and preventing you from being able to see the change that you want to see in your life? The reason that I would do this is because knowing more about those people is going to help me make way better content that is actually going to cater specifically to their situations. The reason that I'm able to be so helpful through these YouTube videos, or the reason even that I'm able to sell like digital products and services, is because I can explain exactly what it feels like to be a small streamer. And whenever you understand exactly what someone in that position is going through and you can explain it to them, they're gonna feel like you really get them, and they're gonna feel like your solutions for them are probably right too. And you can give that solution for them through your content, which is gonna make your content way more valuable and make people actually show up continuously for it. So this means that they're gonna feel like their time is really valued, that my videos really help them, that my streams really help them, that my social media really helps them, and that would mean that they're gonna share it a lot more, they're gonna interact with it a lot more, because it actually does something for them, as opposed to me just sitting and hoping that my playing a specific game resonates. Now, after I've gotten to know these people a little bit and I know what kinds of things they are looking for in content, then I'm gonna make a content repurposing strategy for Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. The reason for this is that Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter all work really, really well together if your ultimate goal is to grow your Twitch stream. That's kind of like the Twitch streamer triad, right? Those are the three things that you need to make sure that you're really great at if you want to continue to be relevant and grow your success within this industry. And what I would do is I would make sure that each one of those platforms wasn't just a massive time sink for me. So it's really easy to lose all of your time to creating content. I think Gary Vee calls this a content creation hamster wheel. I might have gotten that from somebody else instead of him, but essentially it's this idea that you feel like you're constantly creating, so eventually you get burned out, and then you take a break, and then you come back and you're constantly creating content again. You're not really getting any results. So essentially what's happening here is you are just burning yourself out consistently because you are putting so much responsibility on yourself to create content without knowing who it's for and without repurposing it. So learning how to repurpose your content is going to help you get a lot of that time back, because what will happen is you can turn one Twitch stream into one Twitch stream, one YouTube video, and like 4 social media posts if you know what to look for during your stream in order to make those additional pieces of content. Now the thing is with YouTube that you can't just rip your Twitch streams and upload them to YouTube. That's not gonna work. You have to have great titles, great thumbnails, great topics, and make really great content that's going to keep people watching throughout your entire video and inspires them to go and watch more of your videos. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually building something to help you all with your YouTube channels. If you want to hear more about that, then there's a link down below for you. Yeah, go check it out, I guess. After I figured out my content repurposing strategy, what I would do is I would start making content for 2 weeks straight. So what I'm going to do during that 2-week time period is I'm going to get closer to the audience that I'm trying to get involved with. And I'm going to make sure that my content repurposing strategy actually works and isn't overwhelming for me. A major mistake that a lot of Twitch streamers make here is that they fill up all of their free time with content creation. So it's constantly like filming YouTube videos, editing YouTube videos, posting on social media, interacting on social media, streaming on Twitch, planning to stream on Twitch, hanging out in the Discord, and they have no room for any of the things that are actually going to grow their brand, make them more marketable, and make them more financially stable too. And this is a massive mistake. You don't want to do this. And so what I would double check during this 2-week time period is that I have a very small percentage of my time actually being taken up by content creation. I would also continue to do more market research at this time, which would mean meeting one-on-one with the people who were in my stream, watching my YouTube videos, and interacting with me on social media. I would reach out to people and ask to meet with them. I would fill out more questionnaires, post them in more Facebook groups, post them on social again, like put them everywhere where people could possibly find them, because I want to collect as much data as I possibly can to figure out how to create the best experience that I can for people. After I made that content consistently for 2 weeks, during that 2-week time period, actually, I'd be paying attention to that market research, and then I would use that market research in order to create a freebie, which I break down why and what that process kind of looks like in this video right here. Essentially, my freebie would be there to, yes, help other people, but also grow my reputation as being someone who's really generous, and I would use it as an opportunity to use ads in the future. I would also use it to learn what it's like to create a product that I could eventually sell. When I create that freebie, I would pay a lot of attention to people's responses from it. I would probably create some kind of like questionnaire on Google Forms that would essentially be a place for people to give feedback on that freebie that's included with the freebie. So it would be a really easy, scalable way that I could make sure that I'm getting feedback from that free thing that I'm giving people so that I can improve it for the future and to figure out what people want to know about next, because the next thing is probably a small intro paid product. However, before I get into creating any kind of paid product at all, what I would do is I would build out an entire product suite. So I'm talking about like from the intro product or the freebie down to my most premium offer that I have for people. What does that look like for me? And this is going to be a way for me to have a business model going into my stream. Because remember, we're only 2 weeks into the process at this point. I would have a really strong idea of what I wanted my business model to look like, and that would be based off of market research that I'd done through my freebie and through the questionnaires that I'd been posting all over the place publicly. Now, what this product suite is going to do is it's going to take that group of people that I'm really interested in serving, that I figured out from that Genius Zone experience, and it's going to take people deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into helping them solve the problems that comes with the thing that I'm really good at, right? My zone of genius. I actually talk a lot more about what that product suite could look like in this video right here, and I also talk about the things that could be included in that, like ebooks, courses, and coaching. After I figured out my product suite, the next thing that I would do is think about what product I wanted to launch first. Now, I'm not interested in baby steps anymore, y'all. I'm not starting with coaching and then tiptoeing into an ebook. Like, I would go full on. Ashnichrist is a luxury brand, okay? I'm gonna release a $500 product that serves this specific group of people really well, gives them a great transformation, helps them completely change their life, and I am going to do a ton of research and a ton of development. So at this point, we're probably 4 months into me streaming, right? I would have a ton of market research behind me, a ton of one-on-one meetings behind me, a ton of contact and knowledge about the people that I'm trying to serve. And that is absolutely imperative, because if I don't have that strong connection with those people, then I'm not going to be able to build something that's truly great and truly helpful for them. And ultimately, like, who cares about all of the marketing that you put into something, all of the attention, all of the hype, if the actual thing that you've created isn't helpful, right? So my first priority, hands down, would be making sure that that thing was the shit. I did it. We went there. Throughout these 4 months before the launch of this product, I probably collected a lot of emails from the streams, from the YouTube videos, from the social media. I've given out a freebie, so I've generated a lot of goodwill. I've been helping people through all of my content. At this point, I should have a really good amount of help that I've kind of put into this piggy bank that is going to help people realize that I am a person that is genuine, that truly cares about them, and that can actually help them with the thing that they're struggling with. And so that's why whenever I launch this product, I would truly believe in it. I'd have an entire launch process. It would be really fun and really exciting, and a lot of people would be attracted to it, and it's ultimately going to grow my viewership, grow my follow numbers, and grow my community, because the hype that surrounds a launch is huge. Your first launch and your first product is never going to be perfect, but that's why you can continue to improve, to grow, to scale, to build more products in your product suite, to keep helping people who can't afford your $500 offer. You have tons more things that you can build into this. It's not just a single launch and then it's done. This means that there is consistent attention that's going to be flowing my way. There is consistent income that's going to be flowing my way. And there's consistent free stuff that I'm going to be putting out to be helpful to people, because I've got this content repurposing strategy on freaking lock. I think what would be really fun at this point would be starting to give back to people, like dropping into either my customer streams or other streamers that I like streams and just dropping 100 subs on them. I think it would be really awesome to hire out a team, to employ other people, and then to, in that way, really drive a lot more impact by putting a lot more goodwill into the world. Because the thing that really truly excites me about online business and content creation isn't just changing my life, but it's changing the lives of other people. My customers, yes, but also the team of people that I'm getting to pay, that get to be full-time creators because I'm empowering them to do so because I pay them. So I would continue to launch and scale the thing, to keep doing free stuff, to be giving to charity, community, to do a lot of giveaways, and at that point I'm kind of paying back all of the awesome stuff that I've gotten in return. And I think that's what's so great about being financially stable and being someone who is in a position to be able to give like that, is that you get to change lives, not just with your products, but also with the additional ways that you're supporting people, because you have the resources at that point in order to do it, because you didn't have those resources before. Now, unfortunately, I did not do all of this stuff. My path was filled with way more mistakes than all of this. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out my ebook. That's about how I went from 20 viewers for 4 years to 250 plus viewers and all the things that I had to learn to get there. You don't have to make all the mistakes that I did. Please learn from me. I've been a guinea pig for so much of this. Seriously, I can tell you when something is the right thing to do versus the wrong thing to do, and that's just it. It is what it is, what it is. Obviously, there are a lot more things than this that I would do in order to make sure that the content is actually valuable, that my community is feeling really happy. There are a lot more just strategies that you can use to drill into all of this stuff. In fact, I go into 5 more of them in this YouTube video, so go and check that one out. I love you so much. Bye!